Hi, welcome to the video. I'm Melissa, I write books. Welcome to a week of writing. I just was sick last week. I'm still like coming off of the tail end of that, unfortunately, but I'm feeling, whoa, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, are you okay? Are you okay? Okay, the life of an influencer, but I don't know. Okay, but I feel like I can get a writing session in tonight. I feel like I still have energy. It's right after work. But my house is still like really a mess. So I'm gonna eat and do like a 15-minute clean, and then I'm gonna settle in for some evening writing. I don't know how long I'm gonna go. I'm gonna maybe see if someone is available to like jump on a sprint. I for sure wanna do like an hour maybe. Even longer would be great, but I gotta ease in. I'm right at the, right past the midpoint, so I'm just right at the beginning of Act 2, Part 2, and everything is kind of crazy in the book, but I'm excited. I did some outlining, so I know what's coming next. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Okay, it's like 7. No, it's 6:45. I've been procrastinating hardcore. I'm gonna go on a walk before the sun sets, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna write. Because I still have like literally 2 hours before 9 o'clock. Like, there's still time, okay? We're gonna go on a walk, okay?
Worries come dressed as night to plunder dreams and whispered out to the scattered light reflects your mind. Splinters, facts from fictions. It's dark outside, it's cold in here. There's nothing left but all your fears. You're falling like the moon falls in the sky. There's nowhere to land.
It's Tuesday, and most Tuesdays are not writing days. They try to be, and then I just never do. But today, I actually have the day off. I work at a college, and there's a lot of weekends, and so I get a few days during the week to kind of make up for it. So today is one of those days. It's about 7, and I think I'm gonna go to a coffee shop for however long I can write for. Yesterday I did end up writing about maybe 45 minutes worth of time, which this is the first time I was really writing a scene, I guess, since Friday, so that's really not that long. But it felt like longer, so it was good to just kind of ease into it. I'm feeling good about the chapters, or the chapter I was working on. I think I wrote about like 700 words or something, but this morning I'm gonna go to the coffee shop and stay there for as long as I have energy, probably until like lunch. So like a good 3-4 hours. See how much we can do. Hopefully get through this chapter, maybe finish the draft and then edit through and maybe start another one. I don't know. I'm also trying to decide, now that my main characters are split again, like how I want to write it, because kind of complicated. There's a lot of like time jumps happening. Like, she's going to a location and he has to travel to a location, stay there for a day, and then travel back. And I think it takes like a week to get there if my like fantasy map skills are correct. And so then like, but then they have to reunite at a certain point for her. And so I'm like, what is she gonna do for 2 weeks? how am I gonna pass that time while he's just like traveling, you know? So there's that to think about, but also I've been debating writing just her chapter, like her POV for this section, and then going back and writing his POV because it just might make more sense. But also I do like to intentionally write, if chapters are going next to each other, I like to write them in order so that you can kind of feel like, so that there's thematic similarity in both chapters. I like when the dual POV chapters like mirror each other. Like if she's going through something, I want him to be going through something that mirrors it, you know? And the first book, well, the second book technically that I wrote was in two realities, and I didn't, which is crazy. Same POV, but two different versions of reality. I was very intentional with that book of writing it every other chapter. Like I didn't write one reality and then the other reality because I wanted them to parallel, and I liked that. And so I don't know if that really makes sense here though. I'm just gonna finish her chapter and then see how I'm feeling about, because I'm also avoiding Cecil's point of view because I just don't quite know how that all goes. There's just a lot of like, we have to travel somewhere, and then I just don't know how much of that we want. It's like unclear to me how that scene plays out. So I think I'm also just avoiding that a little bit. So maybe I should go back and forth so that I can make sure to hit that before. Because it would be very like me to like write all of her POV that I'm excited about and then have to go back and write all of his where I'm like, I know this is necessary, but I'm like, whatever, you know? I yearn for the pool. I haven't been to the pool since I've been sick. I think I'm gonna go today. Like, it's so good for my brain, and I just haven't been in a while, and so I feel like I'm just brain fogged.
Found myself in a cardboard box, feeling sitting deep down. I found a speck, now I can't escape. Oh, you're not one you get rid of.
Okay, hi! Post little writing session update. I was actually more distracted than I thought I would be, but I still did write about 1,000 words, and I did maybe not even an hour of writing, really. I did a 12, a 24, and then half of a 36. So like, it was probably close to an hour. But I did finish the chapter. I don't know. It's only 1,500 words, and I found myself recently getting more caught up on word count, and I don't know what that's about because I usually like don't even look at my word count unless it's like a writing challenge month or something. And to just like update you, I'll sometimes share my word count, but I'm never like worried about word count in a first draft. But I feel like this book's gonna be short, and I just need to remind myself that that's okay. Like, it's okay if it's short. Like, there are definitely places that I can add scenes. I also just have noticed a tendency with myself to not want to put more than one scene in a chapter. Like, I call them chapters, but really it's like a scene. I don't think I've put a scene break in a chapter yet. And it almost feels wrong to do it. Like, I was almost gonna write like, oh, I can write another scene in this chapter, but I just didn't want to. I was like, no, we need a new chapter. I don't know what that's about. I think my thriller bones are like small chapters, like snappy one scene chapters. I have definitely, like, every book I've written has multi-scene chapters, like that for sure exists, but it was like going to sleep at the end of the chapter. I hate that I keep ending chapters with people going to sleep. But it's actually been a few chapters since I did that, so it's fine. And then I was like, I could like write another scene of the next day, but then, I don't know, the movement of time is weird. Like, I want to keep their time similar, but that doesn't actually make sense because Dahlia's next few chapters are going to be like the next day. Here's what's happening. I guess they could be further away. Maybe it takes them a week to get there. Do we need a whole nother week in the woods, though? That's the thing. And Cecil, it's going to, like, take him a week to travel to where he's going, and that's where the action happens. And so it's, like, the time is going to get a little funky because she's going to be in the same day, and then he's going to be, like, weeks in the future. So I just need to think about this a little bit, about how that's going to go. Maybe I should finish out, make this, like, a really long chapter and do this whole song and dance of what happens next, because then some time will pass for her after she gets to this location then she'll get to a point where like a couple weeks can pass for her, but we can't get there right away yet. And so maybe I need to get her to that before, but also, okay, I also was thinking of Cecil's next chapter, and I don't know if he's going to be at the next location, because essentially they both get to a location and stay there. No, that's not even true. Cecil travels like a week to get to his location. Dahlia travels like a day to get to her location, and then she waits a week. So they're still in this like waiting period at the same time, but I just need to like time it out. It's kind of this like mind game. So this is just me thinking and trying to figure this out. I'm also at the library now. I'm gonna go, and actually I'm gonna do some video editing here. I'm not actually gonna write here. I don't know. I need to figure it out. I'm gonna for sure write again today. But I do have some video editing that I'm very behind on that I need to do today. Like, I need to do it today. If I have, like, I'm thinking I could do another short chapter from Cecil's point of view, because I don't want, like, weeks to pass for him and not for her. So if I went to his POV and it's, like, the same day, and he's, like, having a reflective moment because he's a reflective king, you know, like, something could happen, obviously, in the scene, but if he's like, and it would make sense because it would be kind of jarring to go from the last Cecil chapter to like he's already traveled and it's a week later, like that'd be kind of crazy. So maybe I can move to him and have like this chapter that I just wrote for Dahlia is like 1,500 words, and so I could do another short chapter for him that's like, we're in the woods, we're thinking. We've had a lot of we're in the woods and we're thinking chapters, but they're all thinking about interesting things, like, and making decisions. Like, I don't know. What is a book except for people thinking, you know? And so, anyway. The people at the library are judging me. Anyway, but then... So then the next chapter could be where she arrives at her destination, and then it's like, oh, a week goes by. Like, we just kind of like... We get her to the spot where then time can pass, and then we can have time pass for him. If time has passed, like, then their time is passing at the same time. That would make sense, actually. I am so smart. Okay, yeah. But then I have to write a whole Cecil chapter right now about nothing. And no, it can't be about nothing. I just have to think about what it's going to be about. He could just be having a moody moment. Oh. Or we could just have 2 Dahlia chapters in a row. That's the thing. Or I could just make this chapter like 3,000 words and have the time pass for her at the end of this chapter. Like, do I need a moody, reflective Cecil chapter? I feel like I always need a moody, reflective Cecil chapter. He has a lot to think about, to be fair. But he could do that in the next location. Like, that will give him a lot to think about. Lots to consider and think about. But I am going to go into the library and do some other work. But hopefully during that time I can be, like, ruminating, thinking, processing, you know? Okay. Hey, okay. It's Wednesday night. I did about an hour of writing earlier today over my lunch, and now I fear I'm trying to write for another hour. I actually don't even know why I'm doing this whole, like, I'm like really like, I know what the next scene is I'm writing. I'm excited to write it. I know the second I get into it, it's gonna be a good time. It's the resistance to, like, focus. Like, I feel like sometimes what I feel myself resistant to writing a lot, and sometimes it's because of, like, what's actually happening in the book. And I maybe, like, don't know exactly where I'm going or what's going on. Sometimes it's, like, a lack of energy of, like, it's a bad time of day, or I've had a busy week, or, you know, like, sometimes it's that. But right now I feel like it's focus. Like, I feel like I can't, or not that I can't, but the idea of doing a 30-minute sprint right now seems like a lot, which is so silly, because how many 30-minute writing sprints have I done in my life? Countless, truly. And so I just need to do it. Because literally the second I get into it, I'm like, I'm having a good time. I got my good playlist. What's happening in the book is, like, literally my favorite things to write, which is really depressing. I'm also just not in a rhythm right now. When I'm in a rhythm of, like, I write at 5 p.m. every day, then I have less of that focus resistant, because my body is like, oh yeah, we're ready for this. We know what's coming. And I had such a good rhythm, like, last year of writing every day at 6 a.m. and I just don't know if that's going to happen for me. I'm going to try 7. But I also am going to try to write over my lunch hour. I don't know. I've just been struggling with like what's the best time to write. Because I was realizing like the late afternoon and evening is when I have been writing, and that's just like not when my energy is great. And because I haven't been writing at the same time every day, it feels like there's more resistance. But I also want to I want to rebuke that, because I want to be able to just jump into writing whenever. Like, it doesn't need to happen at a certain time of day for me to do it. Like, I don't need to do this whole song and dance of like, oh, I can only do it if I write at the certain, no. I can write whenever. I'm always capable of writing. I think getting into a regular rhythm is just nice. But I'm going to write before I talk to you too much, so let's do it.
Fight the darkness till break of day. The heart and the past changing so fast, like a chameleon. Red ones and blue skies. What did we know? We were so very young.
Good morning. Did I even talk to you when I started writing? No. I think I started around 6:45, 6:50 this morning, which is a win. This is the first time I've actually gotten up to write in like probably almost a month now. And I didn't even really intend to get up that early. I just wanted to get like an hour in, like 7 to 8. It's like 8:10, right? Which I did. I got about 600 words. It's really unfortunate that I need to go to work though, because I really feel like I just got into flow like 10 minutes ago in the second sprint. Like the last 2 paragraphs came really quickly. Not that quick writing is necessarily better, but like I wish I could do another sprint right now. And it's been a while since I've like wanted to do another sprint, so that's really unfortunate. It's not that I haven't wanted to write, it's just been like starting every sprint was like, okay, let's do another sprint. Not like, oh, I don't even need the clock. Like, let me just keep going. It's like I finally got there, but hopefully that will return. I'm kind of trying out this rhythm of doing 1 hour before work and then 1 hour like at noon at my lunch break. And then in the, after work is done for the day. Doing more, but like even if I didn't do more after work, then it's like 2 hours, So I am feeling like maybe starting out, even if it's not a ton in the morning, will set me up well. I don't know. The chapter's going well. I'm actually glad I got through this little section. I think I just struggle because I struggle to write like transitional scenes, and usually I just don't write them. And what I mean by that is like walking to and from a location. Like they're traveling throughout most of this book, but we're not like actually like a day passed and we're traveling, you know? And like I usually just encapsulate like at the beginning or the end of a chapter, it's like they traveled throughout the day and found, like it's like one sentence. But this chapter, it's like she wakes up and then the stuff happens and then they like travel for half a day and then more stuff happens, but it's all in the same chapter. And so it's like has to transition from like an active like scene to like like a bunch of time passes and then it's another scene. And so it's like sometimes I just, those sort of transitional scenes where it's like we're going from one location to another and like where time is passing differently throughout the chapter, which I know is like very normal, but it always is a little bit slower because you're not in like the flow of a conversation or a moment. I'm almost through that transitional point. Like it'll take me one sprint to get through the transitional and then I'll be back in another scene. I think this chapter's gonna be long. I'm already at 1,000 words. Or it's probably more like 800 because I have a long section at the end that's like, here's what happens in the chapter. But I think there's still a lot that needs to happen in this chapter, so it'll probably be one of the longest ones. I have to go to work though, so I'll see you the next time I write. Okay, everyone, I'm happy to report I have finally had a good writing session. It's Friday. I just wrote sort of over my lunch break, and I've been waiting for a writing session to actually feel good. And I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but I feel like if I have a lot of mid sessions, like it's not that other writing this week has felt like terrible. It's just been like kind of a chore to do where it's like, okay, this is fine. Like the words are decent. The story's coming along. There's usually like one or two great moments, but I think when I have a lot of those mid-writing sessions, I forget that there are often writing sessions where it like is very immersive and time passes differently and it like flows actually, you know? And so it took me 2 short sprints to actually get to that point, but then the last sprint I did really flowed. I have to look how many words I did because I think it's something, I guess only 1,500 words, which is not very many to be honest. Well, no, it was, yeah. In about an hour, 1,500 words is good. Not that it's really not about word count at this point. I don't really care. But the scene, I feel like, started to actually flow. There was a lot of like, we're traveling, and now this was another like heavy dialogue scene. I do find that heavy dialogue seems to flow the best on a first draft because it's like the back and forth, and there's like more natural momentum in a chapter when they're like bantering back and forth. I feel like when it's the worst, flow wise, or the most challenging, where it requires the most going back and fixing, is when there's no dialogue to kind of center it, or we're like moving and thinking and observing. Like sometimes flow can be more difficult, but it's been nice to get to this scene. I am excited. I did have sort of a breakthrough on like what she's going to be doing in Act 2 Part 2. Like I knew where she was going to be and like generally what she was going to find out, but I didn't, and I thought that was enough, but I sort of came up with this element that I really like, that will give us more structure for the second half, and it also makes the stakes feel bigger, and it allows, I think, for more like depth. I don't know. I'm excited about it. It makes these villains that we're going into now more distinct and worse than the ones in the first half, which is a feat because it's been pretty bad so far, but like this element I've added makes it like an even worse version of bad, which is exciting. I honestly could do another sprint right now, but I think I'm gonna take a break and come back to it later tonight. I'm so glad I had a good writing session because I do keep forgetting that they happen. Yeah.